Hello and welcome back to another episode of Reach Your Happy with Laura. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura. I am an intuitive Reiki practitioner and life coach. I do energy healings and readings. So my method here is to channel whatever is the most relevant, important information for you to receive. So you may be listening to this the day I post it, years after I post it. Just know that you are receiving this at this time because you're supposed to hear this message. So I have taken, I think it's been 2 weeks of space from creating. I have felt this for the first time, this not this like pressure or anxiety to create, but rather to the importance of needing to listen to my cycles of ebbing and flowing. Sometimes I am in this creator mode and really extroverted, and other times I am quite introverted, which tends to be the times where I'm doing more in-person sessions. So I have had a very busy schedule of in-person, so that's more intimate time with each individual person, and now things are ebbing in a different way and I'm flowing into more of a creator mode. So I have found this really sweet balance of being able to honor where I am. And maybe you're listening to this right now and you aren't in your favorite space. Maybe you're not feeling all that connected, all that sure or clear. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lost and unsure of what's next. And I am here to remind you that that is a wonderful place to be. That when we don't know what's next, it allows us to open up to the possibility that maybe something better, maybe something more of an energetic match to you is filling in, and that's why this spaciousness is here for you. And that's what I'm really starting to notice, that what unfolds in our lives, whether it is fantastic or tragic or challenging, it is here for us. Life, I don't believe, is about reward and punishment. I think life is here as a teacher. I think we are pressed into particular situations to help us grow in a way that we are intended to grow in this lifetime, in this physical form, with the current circumstances of our lives. So when we shift from why is this happening to me and shifting into what is this helping me evolve into, what is this inspiring from me? I was feeling a little bit low and low energetically. I felt a little depleted. I just felt like I needed to rest. And my space is both my home space, my gym space, my workspace. So it is important for me energetically to have the space be really clear. So my partner is, getting ready for work, and I sometimes will clean up after him, even though he's happy to clean up. Feeling lower, I said, you know what? A part of me wanted to say, don't say anything. And another part of me was like, no, this is a perfect opportunity to speak up. When you're in a low place, it's a wonderful time to ask for help. Let your feeling of weakness and depletion be a gift to you instead of this hindrance of like, I wish I had more energy. I wish I could be. How often are we spending time wishing our state away, wishing I was thinner, faster, richer, happier, healthier, instead of embracing? It's really accepting that I am here. And maybe I don't know it all. Maybe this period of feeling lost or stuck, confused, ill is helping to transform something that I can't see with my physical eyes right now. Every injury, every emotional injury, every setback I've had in my business was never actually this falling down. It was this kind of falling forward into the next phase. And a teacher of mine had explained it before as when you're feeling that ebb, you're feeling that pull back. Like think about the ocean, how the wave when you're standing there is like pulling back. Well, it doesn't keep going back. At some point, it does rush forward again. So this teacher of mine, she said, like, think of a bow and arrow, right? You pull back, pull back, pull back, and at some point you get to that point of tension where you need to release it and it shoots even further. If you just pull back this far, it only shoots so far. If you pull back to the greatest extent, it's going to shoot further than it would if you were constantly pulling, letting go, pulling, letting go. So this kind of pull back, this ebbing, maybe you're going more inward. Maybe, like I said, you're feeling a little bit more introverted. Think about it as if you're gaining energy, you're pulling back, getting ready to rush forward. And I have learned in my exercise journey, it's a beautiful reflection of how our natural cycles go. I'll be in this like really powerful, ready to lift, ready to fight space, and then I'll hit not necessarily a wall, but my energy will shift and I'll be more tired and I'll feel less like pushing. I don't feel that testosterone pumping anymore. And so then I rest, I do a deload week, I lighten the weights, I do more stretching and mobility. And then when I feel the energy rise up again, I'm ready to go. I am almost double as strong as I was before. Our bodies are so intuitive, so wise. There is a knowing, but when we stuff it down, when we hide it, when we try to show up anyway, even when you're not feeling like it, I have done that so many times, not in session, because sessions seem to ebb and flow perfectly with whatever cycle I'm moving through, but creation, making videos, making content, which is a big part of my work and my calling, is to send messages out into the world. I have fought the fatigue. I have just shown up anyway, and it never feels right. It never lands right. It doesn't show up as I want it to. And I realize there's this fear in the back of my mind, if I don't do this, then what happens? Well, I know what happens if I do it. I am tired, I'm a bit resentful, I'm annoyed. So when I didn't do it the past 2 weeks, when it was time, like today, for me to show up again, it was like, oh, I'm ready, let's do this. Oh, this feels so good. Oh, here we go, start the camera, no edits, no stopping, no restarting, just showing up. This is me listening and me going beyond my own mind and having that self-awareness that maybe my system knows something. Maybe this heartbeat, this soul, this body is in greater rhythm and harmony with the universe than my own mind is. Maybe I'm pushing myself to do things that I'm really not ready to do, and that's causing this inner resistance, this inner friction that doesn't allow me to be as I am. It's almost this, when I force myself to do something, I am pushing against all the inner indicators, all the inner red flags saying, please stop, please don't, please don't, please don't, and overriding my own needs, which leads me to fatigue, burnout, doesn't allow me to show up as fully as I would like. So wherever you are today, as you're receiving this message, taking some time to assess, like, am I resisting or am I allowing? Am I resisting my fatigue? Am I resisting this energy? Am I forcing myself to sit and write when really I want to run and move? Oh, that's not part of the plan today, though. You know, if you have the freedom, the flexibility to adjust your schedule or adjust your day, why not? So as you move through your experience, remembering that I go through cycles, that at times I'm not always the same version of myself, and no one expects me to be, you know? No one expects you to be the same person all the time. Maybe you do. But giving yourself permission to ebb and flow, not needing to apologize to your friends for not getting back to them, not needing to justify why you feel how you feel or why you're taking the actions you take. There's absolutely no need. That said, right, there is this balance of, okay, I have this, I say like, don't push yourself too much, right? That's basically my message. And there is a time to push. There is a time to face fear. There is a time when you know there's just this inner resistance, and you know by doing this thing, there's this potential that you have that you feel afraid to face. There's a balance of ebbing and allowing yourself to sit back, and also leaning into the sharpness, leaning into the discomfort. So that's going to be different every time for you when that shows up. So when's the right time? When's the wrong time? There isn't a right or wrong path. Just know that every choice you make and every choice you do not make has a repercussion. So if you have some sort of goal, some sort of desire, you want to launch a website, you want to start a business, you want to lose weight, you want to have a better relationship with your partner, there is a repercussion for your lack of action. And also sometimes there is a repercussion for your actions. So if you're pushing things along, like sometimes when you bring up, I wish I had a hair elastic, but I don't. Sometimes when you bring up something like in an argument that you feel defensive about and you're not really ready to talk about, but you push the issue, there's a repercussion for that. There's probably going to be some sort of explosive energy there, right? Likewise, if you don't say anything and you don't speak up and you keep not sharing about how you feel, even when you're not feeling defensive, but you're feeling really open and like ready to talk about something, well, there's a repercussion for that too. So the next time you're up against a decision, should I go for a walk or should I not? Well, the repercussions for the walk is it's extremely hot. I may need a rinse off. I may need extra food or water, but I'll get some vitamin D. I'll probably feel looser in my body. Maybe I'll get some clarity, right? That's a repercussion. If I don't walk, I may feel a little sticky in my body. I may feel stiff. I may have this mental idea of that I'm slacking. So remember, there's a repercussion for everything you do and everything you don't do. And you get to decide, in which way would I like to suffer? In which way do I want to go about this experience? And again, it's not rewarded for walking or punished for walking or not walking. It doesn't work that way. In every single day, every single hour, every single moment, you are different. Your needs shift. So sometimes our minds are going, nope, today is not the day that I do this. And then all of a sudden you have an inner shift. Maybe you had a good cup of coffee and a great breakfast and you're like, you know what? I do feel like walking. I said I wouldn't, but now I'm not going. Now I want to. Okay, repercussions. If I do, this. If I don't, this. So it's like, it's parenting yourself in a way, like kids. What was I doing this weekend? I was with my best friend's daughter and I explained to her, if you do this, then that happens. If you don't do that, then this happens. And she was like, okay, all right. It's showing her, this is the box. This is the boundaries. We're talking about like something about going in the pool and she's little, and she really understood that. And I was like, this applies to all of us. All of us need this idea. Okay, if I don't walk, then this. If I do walk, then this. Okay, right? These are the boundaries. This is the explanation. And of course, we can't always interpret what are the repercussions. We can't always fully understand that, but you can get a sense. Like if you want to bring something up to your partner and you know that they're tired, right? The repercussions, okay, that could be explosive. Okay, so maybe I just plant the seed. Right? Maybe it doesn't have to be the full action. Maybe it is just, hey, I have this thing I want to talk to you about. Let's put it in the schedule. When's a good time that we could sit down and really discuss this openly? You let me know, I'll let you know, I'll collect my thoughts, you collect your thoughts, Or if you just like to come out swinging, there's repercussions for that. There's probably going to be more defensiveness. So I share this because it's helpful to know that you are a part of your experience and what unfolds. Sometimes life just feels like it's coming at you and it's just so overwhelming and you're like, why me? Oh my God. I don't know that everything can be explained, but I do know that I have continued to search for a meaning for everything, and it helps soften the blow, right? Finding the silver lining. And I'm not an encourager of being overly optimistic, but I am an encourager of looking at the bigger picture of what are the possibilities here? What are the possibilities of this suffering? Like, what could this be serving for me, even if I don't want to accept it? Even if it doesn't make me feel better. I'm not always about making me feel better. It's just about the fact that we're on this little planet in this gigantic universe talking right now. It's absurd, okay? So we can't always find the exact meaning, but there's a purpose for us being here. And so you are not suffering for no reason if you make it so. And I share the repercussion piece because I want you to understand, I want to empower you to know that you play a part in the creation of your experience. Yeah, you know, some stuff, like I had a really scary thing happen to my fiance last week. And it was like, wow, didn't see that coming. And you know, he could have died. There were so many different things like my mind ran through, and I said, okay, what do we take away from this? Love him a little more. Let the beard hair on the sink go a little bit more to some extent. It felt like unnecessary suffering, but then I saw a shift in him, a greater sense of confidence, a greater sense of valuing himself, valuing our relationship, valuing how our time is spent. And that's worth something. And I, like those freak accidents, you know, that stuff that just happens and you're like, what the fuck? Well, we can always look back and say, oh, I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda, but it happened, right? We don't have to go back and beat ourselves up for what we could have, should have done. And instead it's like, how do I go forward? When something really intense happens, how do I want to be responding? How can I kind of implant this into my mind? How can I let this be a learning experience, not punishment or reward? It's just learning. And I think if we take the approach of always learning, always being a student to life, you will learn plenty. You don't have to seek out anything. You will get your lessons in a plentiful manner at a rate that you can handle it. So, if you're struggling with speaking up, I just keep seeing like someone not saying something that they need to say. Remember, the repercussion for this is I feel forgotten about, I feel heavy, I feel uncared for, I feel unheard. Yes, my friend, this is true. All of that is true. All those feelings are valid, and you are choosing not to say something. So if you want to change the repercussions, change your actions. I'm not saying blow it all up, but again, invite the conversation to happen. Remind yourself, I play a part in this. Well, the repercussions of having a conversation could be a bigger argument. But you know what? It's not you staying the same. It's not you having the little pity party about, oh, poor me, why me, no one cares. Because the repercussions you deal with are partially because of you. And yes, there's other people involved, okay? Like I'm not discounting that, but I'm really highly focusing on the piece that you have control over. You choose how you respond to life. You are strong, you are capable, I believe in you, and if you need a little extra help, I am here for that. And I am done for this channeling session. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.